Right, we're ready. Morning, morning, Pete.
Morning, Andrew. And here we are. We're at Abbeystead on a walk we've done before. Has the chance of being a bit on the muddy side. We're parking here just down by the stream, the name of which escapes me, but I think it might be something to do with Tarnbrook. What does that say?
We'll find out.
Right, anyway. Well, now then, we climb, immediately set off, we climb up this road, pretty steep, because we just come down in the car, and cross off over the fields. We're going east, northeast, over some fields, and we eventually make our way past a few farms and into a very somewhat boggy area, because it's marked on here, and we eventually come to Tarnbrook, where we pick up a track and come further up the valley, and this is a marked way. I don't know whether it has a name.
I think it's part of the Wireway, isn't it?
Cool, Wireway, right. So, and then we follow this over the top of the moor, where it gets a bit bleak and wild and woolly, and then we eventually come down and down, and we meet up with the Trough Road at Tower Lodge, and then we're now turning to come back in a westerly sort of direction on the road for quite a while, as far as Marshaw, and on here, and eventually to here, where we turn, the road goes off to the north slightly, and we follow the Marshaw wire, and we follow, basically the footpath follows the Marshaw wire back towards the car. We get a view of Abbeystead House, which is on the other side of the river from where we'll be at the time, and back to the car. And I think this is about 7 miles, although it doesn't seem to say anything on here.
And I thought they were all 6, but the leader's not here, so it's probably a different one. But 6 is a magical number, because that's the number of us that are here today. That's all we are today, the pre-Christmas. It's I remember this, I've done this walk before. It's a nicer day today than it was then, let's put it that way. So, but I think it will be damp. There's been a lot of rain recently, so let's see how we go. I just had a nice little warmer upper of a couple of 100 feet up the steep road. Just coming past the Abbeystead Estate Garden Centre now, and we're heading off onto the wetlands now. I think it's fairly soggy and boggy along here, which I think it will be for most of the day today. Yes, rather damp, but it's not a bad day. A bit grey, it's cold, there's a cold wind. You'll probably hear as we're wandering round, but it's at least dry. And there's the wood chippings being delivered. That's ready for the gardens next season, no doubt. Tractor just come past us, pulled into the garden centre and unleashed all that. Well, we've been wandering about now for some time, making good progress, I say, but the conditions underfoot are very, very boggy, very marshy. It'll test our hamstrings and calves today. It's lovely, it's still nice. Chilly, bit of a chilly breeze coming from, we're walking into it from the north and northeast, it's coming from. But we're making our way almost now to Tarnbrook, which is probably where we're going to have 11s, so we've made some really good progress. But as you can probably hear from my footsteps, it's very squelchy underneath, and so I think we're going to move on as best as we can, and not push our luck too far. So we've come at the back of this barn that's in front of me now, over the top there, from over the top behind these bales. This is Tarnbrook, the hamlet of Tarnbrook, and yeah, there's the footpath, the finger posts coming, showing the way we've come. There's lots of these little angels around here. I don't know whether it's a school project or what it is. And then I'll tell you what, it must stay cold round here, because old Frosty the Snowman's looking good at the moment. Bit of a crooked look on his face, but yeah, good old Frosty. So we've moved on from Tarnbrook now, where we had 11's little break, and we're just coming up a shooter's or drover's track. I think it'll be a shooter's track, this one, onto the moor. But it's bleak up here. It's not so bad today, but you can imagine it in winter, when that, and certainly last weekend when that horrible wind was howling in. It would be horrible. Not so bad that side, where there's a few trees and a bit of greenery, but this is just open moorland. And if the mist comes down on here, you've got a devil's own job to navigate and find out where you're going. So nice enough today, but other times of the year not so good. So this is the start, this is the top of Tarnbrook. I'm guessing this is the well-known Tarnbrook. Tarnbrook Wyre, this is. It goes into the River Wyre. There's another one, a Marshall Wyre. So it goes, and we're just going over a little footbridge here. It's part of the footpath. That'll make a nice little shot, wouldn't it, in summer. Chilly for today. Well, this is lunch, as you can see, and we're still, we're sort of at the furthest most point of the walk now, really. To the east, there's a track going over through that little gully over there that you can see. Behind this lone tree trunk is the Trough of Bowland, and then this is all the moors over towards Pendle and that sort of way. We've sat on these concrete foundations, as they look, and there's a strong rumour that these were actually gun emplacements in the Second World War. Whether it's true or not, we don't know. We haven't been able to confirm it on previous walks, where the gunners sat and waited for German bombers who were going to bomb Barrow, and this is why they waited, to pick them off before they got there if they could. So we just picked off lunch instead. So this is the road down from a trough. We're just walking along this for about a mile and a bit. There's no alternative over the squelchy moorland, and we're heading over there towards Abbeystead and Abbeystead House. And then this is all moorland that goes over to, we think, to Harris End Fell towards Chipping in that way. And this is an open access moorland now, so that will be quite interesting to walk there. So we're on our last bit now, on our last bit of the road walking, and we're cutting off at this bend through the gates here, and then we're heading through the Duke of Westminster's land back towards the cars in Abbeystead village. So there's a path that we've come along all through the parkland of the Abbeystead estate, and there's Abbeystead House, the seat of the Duke of Westminster, and we're continuing along this track now out towards out towards a little bridge and then down,
field and we're back at the car, right?
and then down a track and we're back at the cars. So Abbeystead House back there in the trees. We've just come back across the River Wye. We're almost full circle. Our cars are over there just to the right of this tree. We're going down this track over here, back down to the cars, and that's the finish of the walk just before 2 o'clock. We've got round in pretty quick time, simply because I think there's only 6 of us, and we've done the styles pretty quickly as well. So it's been a good walk. A tad damp in places, but nothing that we couldn't get through. And so I'll wrap it up now until next week, when we're up at Eveswood in Silverdale, I believe, weather permitting. Let's see what happens. See you then, folks. Bye.